There are three constants: cold, work, and the moan. The first is an ever-present danger. The second is our best weapon to fight it. And the third is proof our weapon is working. That the tools we have built to preserve us from the ice and snow are keeping them at bay. The world we knew ended 10 years ago. The great frost descended and the cold never relented. There are no more seasons, no more warmth. Things we took for granted in our old life, food, trees, comfort, are difficult to come by. It is a hard life, but it's the only one we have. We go forward, day after day, driven by the same words that spurred us on since we migrated north. The city must survive. Frostpunk, the award-winning game from 11-bit Studios, is becoming a tabletop role-playing game from Catalyst Game Labs, longtime publisher of Shadowrun and BattleTech. This society-building game pushes players to consider what they will do to preserve the fragile communities that they have built. Take on a variety of roles, from medic to engineer to hunter to explorer and more. See what you can do to build a society, confront crises, and overcome dangers of the continual cold. The choices you will face will not be easy, but they cannot be avoided. What will you prioritize? What will you value? If you keep hope in your people and reduce debt, you can build something that lasts. But if things go poorly, people will let you know. You could find society crumbling around you and perhaps be exiled into the cold with no hope of return to warmth. Using the new Dice Core role-playing system, the Frostpunk role-playing game offers an easy-to-learn, fast-moving system that puts your character's decision at the center of any session and allows you to try and build and maintain a city that somehow manages to hold people together. There are three constants: cold, work, and the moan. The first is an ever-present danger. The second is our best weapon to fight it. And the third is proof our weapon is working. That the tools we have built to preserve us from the ice and snow are keeping them at bay. The world we knew ended 10 years ago. The great frost descended and the cold never relented. There are no more seasons, no more warmth. Things we took for granted in our old life, food, trees, comfort, are difficult to come by. It is a hard life, but it's the only one we have. We go forward, day after day, driven by the same words that spurred us on since we migrated north. The city must survive. Frostpunk, the award-winning video game from 11-bit Studios, is becoming a tabletop role-playing game from Catalyst Game Labs, longtime publisher of Shadowrun and BattleTech. This society-building game pushes players to consider what they will do to preserve the fragile communities that they have built. Take on a variety of roles, from medic to engineer to hunter to explorer and more. See what you can do to build a society, confront crises, and overcome dangers of the continual cold. The choices you will face will not be easy, but they cannot be avoided. What will you prioritize? What will you value? If you keep hope in your people and reduce discontent, you can build something that lasts. But if things go poorly, people will let you know. You could find society crumbling around you and perhaps be exiled into the cold with no hope of return to warmth. Using the new Dice Core role-playing system, the Frostpunk role-playing game offers an easy-to-learn, fast-moving system that puts your character's decision at the center of any session, and allows you to try and build and maintain a city that somehow manages to hold people together. Back now for your chance to play an entirely new kind of RPG.
Hey everyone, welcome to another Tuesday Newsday, and welcome to my guest for this week, Jason Hansa. Hi.
Hi.
Good to see you.
Again, man. Good to see you.
I just got to see you a couple weeks ago at Gen Con, so
yeah.
Nice to catch up so soon.
Yeah, where we won. I guess we should start with that. You know, defending Masters and Minions champions right here.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that was so fun. I was on the director's call earlier today, and someone brought up the king crab. So I pulled up our minions to our masters. Let me keep their king crab and their I'm gonna mess this one up. I don't remember what this one is. Oh, it's got a nap. Oh, it's a Nova Cat. It says on the bottom.
How convenient.
Yeah.
No, it's a gorgeous schemes.
Yeah.
And the people we played were amazing. Such good people.
They were fantastic. But I had so much fun playing with you. We did the casual game, and the first person that shot me, I declared war on, and my entire mission was to take that one person down. So Jason did the hard work, and I did the vengeful work.
Yes. I drew fire. I couldn't hit all night. So yeah, I drew fire.
The Daichi was so I have that one over here. This was such a gorgeous paint job that it was the envy, so everyone was trying to shoot at it so that they would win it. So
they were trying to bring it down.
Yeah.
And then you fell and killed yourself because nobody kills Rem but Rem.
It's true. That's awesome. I had so much fun playing with you.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, welcome guys. It is
to everybody else, you know.
Yeah, as we just have fun here. So I have Jason on because there's an exciting new release coming this week, so we'll get there. But a couple of quick news items for you. I have not heard back. I know that Lauren unfortunately got COVID and is still recovering. So I have not gotten any news yet on international, like the hubs, if the shipments have been sent, if they're on their way, if some have arrived. I don't know. But I was told by our friend Tyler, let's see here. So some news for you. This has come up in a couple of places, and he's been getting some tickets for customer support and on the Kickstarter, and QML has gotten these questions. In the Pledge Manager, there's a selection for the Indy 8 combo. There have been backers that assumed that this would include the Grey Death Legion or McCarran's Armored Cavalry, but those were Barnes & Noble exclusives. They're past their exclusive date now, so like you can get Grey Death Legion elsewhere, and McCarran's is coming soon. But the combo pack for the Indy 8 is, let's see, Kellhounds, Eridani Lighthorse, Hanson's Rough Riders, Northwind Highlanders, Snords Irregulars, Wolf Dragoons, Urban Mechlance, and Proliferation Cycle Forces. And then he sent a little heart emoji, so that's for you guys. Additionally, everyone with confirmed emails that selected the store credit instead of the shipping subsidization, has received their credit to their email provided. We'll be doing another round as we collect more usable emails. So most of you should have your store credit now, if that's what you chose. Let's see if there's anything else here. Let's see. Oh, one more item. Catalyst has discovered there's a missing item. The House Arano challenge coins. so if you've gotten your package, they're shipping to QML until the time they get them. If you're receiving multiple packages and have one of these coins in your order, you will be receiving the remainder of your order, other than the package that would contain the House Arano challenge coins. So those are on their way and getting fixed. So thanks, Tyler, for that quick update that just came through. So appreciate you. Awesome. All right. So what else I got another heart emoji. I think he's listening. Hi, Tyler. So, hit him up in chat if you have other questions.
Well, I haven't got my Kickstarter yet, so I guess that would be my question. Where's mine coming?
Where's mine?
Mine?
Did you submit your address and your shipping for your order by May? I don't remember the date. 13th?
Yes, like the moment it came in.
Then it should be very soon because you are wave 1 or segment 1 or whatever they're calling it these days 1.
I did the math because they're kicking out like an order like every 60 seconds. So I mean they're working their butts off.
Yeah,
so I'm just fussing because I'm a BattleTech player and it's what we do.
Of course. Everyone will be so much happier when everyone has their shipments, including us, including QML.
Yep, including freelance writers.
Yes, everyone. Awesome. The other thing that I'll do is for you guys is we have a tentative. I gotta find the right internet browser. We have a tentative release schedule that includes the stuff from the Kickstarter as long as everything fulfills by this time. So if things get delayed, then of course we'll push. But I'll at least give you guys the August, September, October. So August was Recognition Guide Volume 2 Il Clan. So that came out. September, we're planning to release Force Manual Davian and BattleTech Universe, the Standard Edition. Those we wanted to make super sure. So when we checked the Kickstarter for language and everything, we are only releasing stuff that was like add-ons or like not Kickstarter exclusive, where it's like, we will move up the publication of BattleTech Universe or whatever like that. So we wanted to make sure that we weren't gonna release anything that was exclusive to the Kickstarters first. So both of those are September, and the BattleTech Mercenaries paint set for the Army Painter. Then in October, we've got the Mercenaries box set. Again, this is dependent on fulfillment. Mercenaries box set Standard Edition. Inner Sphere Recon Lance Force Pack, Battlefield Support Recon and Hunter Lances, and the Assault and Cavalry Lances. Clan Cavalry Star Force Pack, McCarran's Armored, the B&N exclusive. So McCarran's Armored Cavalry Assault Lance will be released in October. And then 2 salvage boxes, the Battlefield Support and Mercenaries, and the Map Pack Savannahs. So that's the plan for... Do
you have what's in the McCarrans listed?
No.
I can't remember.
No, I don't.
I'm sure somebody will jump in chat and say it.
I get prices on here. I get quantity printed. These are some big numbers. And size, dimension size. So McCarran's is going to be 3.6 ounces. That's what you get. So yeah, that's the plan for September and October. Again, pending Kickstarter fulfillment. So we'll bump anything that needs to. Based on some of this stuff. The one question I have now that I'm looking at this though is like the second Star League pack. I'm not sure where that is on this because now I know this one is also supposed to be anything that's going to distro, but I would imagine Star League would be too. So I'll have to ask about that one. I'm gonna make a note real quick.
Yeah. It might already be supposed to be listed as like out because I thought it was shipping out soon. So, and I know that one is not tied to the Kickstarter. None of the Star League ones were.
Yeah, none of the Star League ones were, but it was just for the first time released at Gen Con.
Yeah.
And so I don't think it's in the system. And like I Yeah, I feel like I would have heard about it if Starlink 2 was launching on the website or anything, but it's possible it doesn't. It's, not everything goes well in communication land in Catalyst land. So, but I'll have to follow up on that one. So I wrote it down.
Well, yeah, that's the stuff side of the house. I don't do any of that.
Yeah. I know also like there were new premium minis and stuff like that that were at Gen Con. So, and I know those don't go to distro, so those wouldn't be on this list.
Yeah, the Battlemaster, the NovaCat, I think.
Yeah, but I'd like to have a full list of that somewhere, so I'll have to check in on that. I did also get an update a few minutes ago from Bryn about PAX West. Hold on. Let's see here. Any info on what we're doing at PAX West or Nova Open? For Nova, we will have the booth there as well as the inflatable Irby. I'm not sure about the events for demo team yet. As for merch, we'll have everything new that we had at Gen Con. So the new BFM, second Starlink Force Pack, and the new Force Manual. So both Karita and Davian will be there. Which, by the way,
Nova?
Yeah. I'm going to write down Karita too, because Davian's on here, but not Karita. Unless it's a later month, but that seems silly. So I know that one's at the warehouse. So I'm like, why? Let's do it. Let's do it. So that's pretty much my news. I don't have much about PAX West at the moment. Hopefully next week I'll have more about that. Other things that are going on in terms of conventions, again, we have a couple of trade shows coming up in September, Essen in Germany, and then PAX Australia. So I know Randall, Bryn, and I think Talon are going to both of those, I think. And then will be the next con that I'm aware of will be our first time having a presence at Gamehole Con in Madison. So that's October 17th through the 20th. And that's a really fun, it's RPG focused, but there are some BattleTech tables there and board gaming and stuff like that. But it's a really great con for the industry. Like Matt Lillard was there last year. A lot of special guests from the industry that you can actually game with, like from Kobold Press, and Rob Whelan does a lot of writing for games and articles for games as well. Elisa Teague is a prolific game designer. She plays games there. So, and it's like $10 to play with like industry greats, which is pretty cool. So, RJ Thomas and Jason Hardy will be there, both running some Shadowrun. I think I might be, but I'm not sure if I'm doing that yet. So, but yeah, I think that's pretty much my news. Let's see. If I think of anything else, I'll let you guys know. But let's switch over to you, Jason. I want to talk about you.
Oh, well, cool. I like talking about me too. I'm a writer and I'm arrogant. That's how we roll.
Right. So let's start at the beginning. How did you start writing in general?
Well, I always kind of enjoyed creative writing back in grade school and high school and stuff. And then for BattleTech back in 2005, and this is like the deep lore stuff, the deep magic. For those who were in Battle Corps, they ran Record Sheets Unique Mech Contest, which was writing in 500-word entries for custom variants of mechs, and then they would become canon, and the community voted on them, and the winners became canon variants. And writing for that kind of sparked the interest, and Battle Corps had, much like Shrapnel of today, an open submissions policy, so I started trying my hand sending in stories. I was in Afghanistan writing BattleTech, and at the time, you had to mail them in with a self-addressed stamped envelope if you wanted a response.
Wow.
So yeah, this, like I said, this is the deep magic stuff. And so, yeah, there I was in battle in Afghanistan, FOB Salerno, printing out BattleTech stories, throwing them in, with a brown envelope with MPS written on it, and sending them in and getting rejection letters, because that's how new time writers go. And I just kept slugging away at it till I finally started connecting.
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if you want to write, for people who are trying to write for Shrapnel, you just don't keep writing and not working at it, because then you get nowhere. All you're doing is writing, which is great. But I looked up how to write stories, how to write plot, how to do, I started, doing that kind of stuff, doing the research, doing the homework and taking those lessons. Stephen King's got a phenomenal book on writing that I recommend for anybody trying to be a writer.
Do you know what it's called?
I think it's called On Writing. So, but yeah, you do the homework, you just keep getting better. You take honest criticism. You take constructive criticism, get better, and then you just eventually just keep writing until something hits. So that's what it was.
Cool.
So,
yep. Now, how did you first get into BattleTech? First play your game or get into the lore or whatever?
The game. My buddies were a year ahead of me in high school. And so I was in 8th grade and they came back. This is, the late 80s. And they're like, hey, you want to play this game? We learned up, in Gamer Guild. And I'm like, sure. And so we played BattleTech, and we were getting all the rules wrong because they had like a photocopy of half the rules out of the 2nd edition box. So we got a bunch of stuff wrong, but it was fun. And we just kept going from there. But I knew nothing of the lore for a long time. All I knew, because I was into Facet games through Star Trek. So I knew kind of what BattleTech was. I'm like reading the little blurbs about the novels and stuff like that. And they had little pictures of people, like they, in the catalogs. And I'm like, oh, that looks neat. That looks cool. Maybe I'll get into this one day. And once I played it, then I picked up like the Merc's Handbook, the 3020 TR Road 3025, and the Rules of War. And I had 3 books for 10 years. Wow. That was it. But yeah, it wasn't until my first introduction to the lore was another player I played with in high school who gave me the Blood of Kerensky trilogy, which I love. But I'm like, who are all these people? They're sitting talking about the Kellhounds. I'm like, I don't know who these people are. It wasn't until years later that I actually went back and read the first trilogy. I'm like, oh, this makes so much more sense now. So yeah, I was playing the game before I got into the lore, but then eventually what's nice is that BattleTech picked up, they started releasing all the novels about every quarter, right when I joined the Army as a private. So I had a lot of time on my hands and the books were, so I read them all at that point. That's like I said, I went back, started rereading all the older ones, and it's every 90 days, a new book would drop and I was picking it up. So it was great. It was a great time to be a fan.
That's awesome. I'm pretty excited too, for you guys, at home. We did an interview with Jason at Gen Con, and we'll be releasing that soon here on our YouTube channel. So
I completely forgot about that.
So you might hear some of these stories again.
Yeah.
But
Gen Con was, it was a wild time.
Yeah. We've already repressed. We've slept it off.
No memory that was over.
Awesome. Yeah, I like that you can start with the game and then get into the lore. Like I have a feeling at this point with my love for the Daichi that that's going to be my route into Natasha Kerensky and stuff like that, which is funny that like she's one of the first names I heard of in BattleTech, and funny enough, I just happened to play her mech because I picked the biggest one at the grinder table that I sat down at, and it happened to be hers, and now like I'm hooked to the Daichi. So but I like that you can kind of find your own path based on those experiences.
Yeah, a lot of people come into it through the video games. I mean, the video games have pulled in millions of players, and some people come in through the lore. I mean, a lot of people only read the lore. I've known people that only paint. They don't care a lick about the lore whatsoever, but they love picking up the minis and painting them. So, hats off to those guys because I can't paint at all, and I'm terrible. I'm so bad.
Yeah, I'm pretty bad at it, and I don't have a lot of patience for it. To just sit and like meditate on it and like do it because you're so in the zone for it. And I don't sit still long enough to do that.
Yeah.
I don't think.
I prime them, paint the lasers, paint the missiles, and I'm done. So.
Yeah. But I can appreciate a beautiful paint job. And the time that goes into it. I'm not one of those that can do it well. Cool. So we talked about you getting into writing. We talked about you getting into BattleTech. So let's talk about what was your first that was accepted, and what have you written since then?
Gracious. My first story was called Citations of Respect. And I'd gone into the Galter source book, and the Galter campaign source book, and in there, a, a Davian battalion just disappears. It was destroyed, and nobody knows what happened to it. And it was just kind of a mystery. And so a lot of my early stuff, if you read them, is finding these little holes in continuity and filling them, just kind of answering mysteries, small mysteries. Again, to new writers, find these little holes, find these little interesting little lines and fill those out, not with named characters, just but a missing battalion. What happened? So yeah, my first story was about two history researchers on each side of the line, a Davian and a Cretan history professors working together to try and solve what happened to this battalion. So, and it hit, got published, and after that, just that, I believe I have 17 published things, including a Skulk of Foxes. So that was the first one.
Wow. 17?
Yeah, a lot of little short stories over the time.
Wow.
In battle cores, and then 4 in shrapnel. I'm at 1, 8, 10, 15. So yeah, 4 in shrapnel.
1, 8, 10, 15. You were number 1?
Yeah.
I think I have number 1 behind me. I'm planning on doing readings at some point from it. Yeah, it's sitting over there.
Yeah, I'm not on the cover on that one. No.
Oh.
they got all the big names on the cover.
Okay.
But if you ask people know, they're like, Jason Hansa's got a story in there, and they're like, I don't know. You go, well, did you read the one about the horses? And people are like, oh, that one, that was you. So yeah,
the one about the horses. I like it.
Yeah.
Okay. So, gosh, you've written 17 since then. So you mentioned the title of the book. So, A Skulk of Foxes.
Right.
Now that's supposed to release, I think, in 3 days, right?
Right. Kickstarter backers have already received a digital copy. So this is not news for some people. But yeah, for everybody else, it'll be released digitally on Friday, I believe, on August 23rd. And I don't know when it's going to be on Dead Trees, but once it is, I'm going to buy like 80 copies and send them to everybody I know. So, I'll be like number 1 on the charts.
Awesome.
But it'll all be me.
You'll be the best sales.
Exactly. No, I'm super happy. I'm super proud of this story. I'm super glad I was allowed to write this story. So I really hope that people like it, and I hope it connects with people.
Yeah. So I want to hear a little bit of what the story is about. But first, I want to shout out. You had mentioned the artist.
Yes, the art is phenomenal. The cover art, it just kills. They asked me what I wanted on it. I'm like, well, king crab has never been on a cover. I want the king crab. I mean, it's the Colonel's ride. I mean, it makes sense. But yeah, that was very deliberate. I'm like, I want a king crab. Yes, there's a Tiburon in this, but that's been on covers before. So
it's
yeah.
The artist is Tan Ho Sim.
Yeah, they killed it. Absolutely killed it.
It's gorgeous. I love the rain. I love the atmosphere. It's good stuff. All right, so tell us about the story.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll start with the cover art, and because it's right there on the cover, it's sit there, and if you look on the battle mech, there's an old unit that's been listed in a lot of source books called the Screaming Eagles, and they trace their history all the way back to the Star League, and they've never been in a fiction before. So I was asked to use them. I asked to use them, and I was allowed to, which I'm very thankful for. And no, because it's, you don't want to bring units back from the past, but if they're not dead, they're not dead. So right. I'm like, they're not, so, but it was also why these guys specifically, in their past, they committed war crimes, just what, and since then they've keep sinking lower and lower. They were an A-level unit, and now they're around C minus, maybe D. And so I wanted to write a story about a unit trying to work their way back into a position of honor, what they believe their heritage is equal to, so a redemption story. So that's the unit on the cover, and that's the mercenary unit that gets involved into the story. The story is set on Sun Hao, a independent world on the left side of the map that has a battle mech factory. And so there are shenanigans afoot in the surrounding area, because there's a bunch of raids going on both on world and around it. And Clan Seafox suspects there's going to be trouble. So they don't own the world, but they carry a lot of their products, and so there's money involved. So they send a watch agent, and what the watch is their CIA, essentially, their intelligence agencies. So they send in an intelligence agent to figure out what's going on. And so, and he is working alongside a Sea Fox merchant commander. Now, I am so happy I was able to flesh this out. I did not create this, it's in the lore, but I was able to flesh it out. What the merchant commander is, the merchant ranks are previous warriors that have tested down into the merchant faction. It's a merchant caste. The clans, as you know, have different castes. There's the warrior caste, the merchant caste, the labor caste, and everything is subordinate to the warriors. Well, these merchants, though, they have the ability to act as warriors as necessary to either defend their property or to gain new property if it calls for it. They're not warriors, but they're above merchants. They're kind of in this interesting little middle ground. And I was allowed to flesh this out. And I think it's really neat. I think readers will not only like it, but I think players, people who play the RPG, will have a lot of fun playing these merchants or traders, but they can also get in their Mac and kick some butt if necessary. So this intelligence agent, merchant that can fight as a warrior, and a mercenary unit that's been down on their luck have to work together to save the planet. So that's it in a kind of a nutshell. Yeah.
I'm looking right now through my chat messages because I'm distractible. I found the link. Here's the pre-order link. So if you'd like a physical copy or you'd like the PDF and aren't part of the Kickstarter where you got one already, that's where you can get your copy as it launches in 3 days.
Yeah. I don't know if you can pre-order the hard copy yet. I don't know. I hope so.
Yeah. That's a good question. I'm not sure. I want to find out.
Usually the hard copies follow about a week or 2 weeks after. At least like traditionally, like with Shrapnels and other, releases that Catalyst has done. So I don't know, but as a fan, because I pick up everything. I read everything. I'm a writer, but I'm also a fan,
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah,
so what was the last book you read?
In general?
Of BattleTech.
Or a BattleTech. I just read Craig Reed's Shadow of the Dragon.
Ooh.
And phenomenal book. Oh my gosh, he absolutely killed it.
Awesome.
For readers who haven't read it yet, it's a detective story. It starts off with a murder. I mean, it's a cop. I mean, you can feel the rain, you can feel the grit, you can smell the tobacco. I mean, and then it goes into political because it's on Luthien, the capital of the Draconis Combine, and everything ends up being political there. And just, I'm not going to spoil the story for anybody, but it's just absolutely 100% worth the read. So yes, I read that, I want to say right before Gen Con. And such a good book. Absolutely. Shouts out to Craig. Me and Craig came up through Battle Corps right about the same time. We did a lot of reading of each other's stuff, a lot of, sit there and double checking each other's work and proofreading and, bouncing ideas off each other. So I'm really happy. It's like he kicked out a novel. I mean, this is like his third or whatever. I mean, he fifth or whatever. But he's releasing a novel. I'm releasing a novel. It's like old times. So awesome. I'm so happy. I'm so happy for him. And and he just kills it. So.
What else do you have coming? Any other works that are in the approval pipeline?
Well, there's The Strength of the Pack, which part 1 and 2 have been released, but not released. It's kind of it's in a funky spot right now. It's a serial novel set with the clan wolf during the invasion. It's set immediately before the invasion. So Strength of the Pack, I don't know the schedule on that. It's and then
I'm looking it up to see if it's on my list for this year.
So it might be, it might not be. You'll probably have to talk to John about it. So
I made this list with it's not on for the rest of this year, because I've got the dates through the end of December.
Right.
But hopefully we'll see that in 2025.
Right. Then I'm also working on Craig Reed, and Phil Lee. And it's funny because it's like Craig A. Reed and Phil A. Lee. So they're like, you should put an A in there, like Jason Hansa. I'm like, that is technically correct, the best kind of correct. The three of us are working on Wars of Reavings novels, books 1, 2, and 3. And so they are all loosely tied together, but you don't, you can technically read them in any order, but they all do kind of do that arc. And I've read both of where they are in their stories. Phenomenal. They're crushing it. They're killing it. They're just knocking out of the park. I mean, just So the fans should be in for a good time. It's there's a lot of great fiction coming down the pipe.
Awesome. All right. Well, anything else you would like to share of stuff that you're working on, or thoughts on BattleTech, or anything in general before we skip over some Q&A?
Not really. I mean, as I said, I'm a fan, but I'm a writer, but also a fan. And I think this is a great time to be a fan. There's an energy about the game. There's an energy about the story. I really think that every faction is in a good and interesting spot. And so it's going to be really neat to see where the next couple of years take us. Again, like, I don't know what everybody else is doing. I like when Shadow of the Dragon drops, I sit there and I read it just like everybody else, and I love it. So I can't wait to see. Like, Brian has a novel coming out next year, and Michael C has a novel coming out next year. I can't wait to read them. So I'm excited.
Awesome.
I think BattleTech is a really interesting spot. I think there's a lot of good stuff coming up. I know there's a lot of good stuff coming up. And I'm just happy to be part of it. And if I can just write a story every so often that makes people laugh or smile, then I'm happy.
Have you gotten to take a look at all at Universe yet?
I got a copy. I was able to skim it. I haven't had a chance to park my butt.
Yeah, same.
Being a writer sometimes, it's like I should be working on my story, So when you become a writer, someone once said that you've chosen to do homework for the rest of your life. So no, I haven't had a chance to sit and read Universe because I've been trying to get work done.
Fair. Awesome. Okay. All right. Well, let's skip on over to some questions. I Am Belch asks, any updates on the missing cookbook and Art of War book that backers didn't get with the initial Kickstarter order? Well, since we know Tyler's...
No, I have no updates. Oh, that was for you. I'm sorry.
Well, since we know Tyler's listening here, I know that I've seen some of the pictures of people's shipments coming in that has them now. So, Tyler, maybe if you could check this week with QML on what their plan is for the refulfillment of the rest of those, that would be awesome. G. Stillings asks, who do we contact if we receive multiple salvage packages with vehicles in them instead of mechs from the Kickstarter? Tried contacting via Kickstarter page, haven't gotten a response. Go ahead and follow up to, sorry, Tyler, T. Buckner, I'm going to put it in chat, at catalystgamelabs.com. I got to pull up chat again. Where'd it go? Come back.
And you can send any spare minis you don't want to me, Kara.
Send the follow-up to him, but I know, like, we're waiting through, like, 300 messages right now, so, so he will get back to you, or someone will get back to you, but, if you want to follow up, you can send an email. Have all the shipping credits gone, or will more be coming? More will be coming, as I mentioned from Tyler's update. Sorry, scrolling up now. He's been messaging me as he listens to this. Everyone with confirmed emails that selected the store credit instead of the shipping subsidization has received this to their email provided. We'll be doing another round as we collect more usable emails. So Tyler, if you maybe want to give me, I know you're typing already, so you might be giving me an answer right now on how to verify or how to confirm emails, that would be helpful. So thanks. Let's see. How do we contact CGL via the Kickstarter page? There's no option for me to send a new message. I can only reply to my initial survey. So if you go to the Kickstarter page at the very top, you'll see, I'm just going to go so I can walk you guys through it too. At the very top, of the project, just type in mercenaries. Okay, I'll type in BattleTech. It likes that better. There it is. So right at the top, over on the right hand of the image, you'll see created by Catalyst Games. You can click on that and it'll do a pop-up, and you can click on contact me, and that will let you send a message to the Kickstarter. Wanderer DG asks, question, I've seen some folks sharing pictures of the first Somerset Striker Bushwhacker having issues with the LRM-5 on the shoulder. Has this been addressed? I haven't seen that. Usually if there's a complaint, maybe Tyler has, but usually it somehow filters to me. But again, send a message to Tyler at tbuckner@catalystgamelabs.com and send in a picture. And we'll be happy to look into that. If there's something that's not quite right, we'll absolutely replace it. Especially if it's not a wide issue. If some folks are sharing it, but it's not like a ton, then it could just be faulty shipments or something, and we'll replace those. But if it's a wider spread issue, then that's good for us to know. So please send us what you can. Northern Arsenal asks, when will the Somerset Strikers box be available for purchase? Let me pull that product schedule back up. And
I would also love that, because I didn't order it for my Kickstarter. So yeah.
Let's see when it's on the list here. I think it's late on the list because it was a late stretch goal, but let me check.
Yeah, I don't know anything about the Bushwhacker, but one of the guys at our local game store brought his pack in. I saw the Mauler, and gorgeous sculpt, absolutely gorgeous sculpt. So
as of right now, unless again fulfillment delays this, it's set for December.
Just in time for Christmas, yay!
Yeah.
What Santa's bringing me?
Alendrei IQ, I'm sorry if I'm getting your name wrong, are Wave 4 orders that haven't shipped yet and include the Arano coin being held in the entirety? That'll be a question for Tyler. He's typing as we go here. Hopefully we'll get you an answer by the end of this. If not, all of these questions I can also forward to Tyler, and then he can get a backer update out. Do we know when the dice will be released into the wild after Kickstarter fulfillment? I don't think they're on the list either, because I don't know that those would go to retail or to retailers because there's just so many. Yeah, they're not on the list, so I would have to ask about that one. I'll put it in the Skype chat right now, just so that I don't forget to ask someone.
Those might end up being like on the store or something, you know.
They'll be released on the online store, but like when, I'm not sure. Do we have a plan for? I'm sending it to Randall. Mercs dice to release on our store after fulfillment. Okay.
The liquid core ones are interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again, I've only seen them. I haven't got my Kickstarter yet. I'm going to go home and sob.
I got to see a bunch of at KerenskyCon because Randall got samples of everything, so we got to see stuff there, and yeah, it's the dice are gorgeous.
Very, very cool.
Seeing all of them splayed on a table together when there's like 60 sets or something like that, it's a lot of dice. It looks pretty cool. Let's see. More questions about the Rano coin, which let's see if I've gotten a response from Tyler yet.
You know, like I said, a lot of people come into the game through the video games. So I'm not surprised there's a lot of questions about that. I never played that game. I'm not even sure which platform it's on. So, you know, but a lot of people have and love it.
The Arana coin shipments are not being entirely held for the coin, just the package that would have included the coin if you have multiple packages. So they're waiting for that coin to get there to put in the last box, but they'll send the other box first. Let's see. If we got store credit, could we use it on the Army Painter set? You can use it on anything that's on the Catalyst store, and the Army Painter set will be on the Catalyst store.
You can use it for Skulk of Foxes when it comes out.
Yeah.
That's what I say you should use it on.
Yeah, right? Right on our website. Will the Blood Asp salvage box be released in retail, or will it be Kickstarter exclusive? Let's see. I think the Blood Asp is coming. Yeah, it's coming to retail. The plan right now, as of right now, is January. We'll be releasing through like May of next year because like you just can't overwhelm retailers with releases. Like they can't carry everything. If we were to be like, hey, here's 400 new SKUs for you, have fun. They can't afford to do that. So we're releasing them in chunks each month. For our guest, okay, some questions for you, Jason.
What?
Did you start off wanting to be a writer, or did writing sneak up on you?
I guess it kind of snuck up on me. It was just something, like I said, something I liked doing as a kid. And then when I had a lot of fun in that contest. And so then, yeah, I'm like, well, let me try my hand at it. So no, I never thought I would be a writer. Writing was always a mystery and magic to me, but.
Awesome.
So,
yeah. Which year, someone asked about your service. Which year, which unit? Thanks for your service and your family's many sacrifices.
Oh my great goodness. I joined as a private back in the day, and I was in Korea, back in a medical supply and optical unit, the unit that actually made all the birth control glasses all around the peninsula. That was my unit.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, it was crazy. And then I went down to Fort Sill, took my GI Bill, went back to Northern Illinois University, and then commissioned as a lieutenant through ROTC, and then went to Germany for several years. But I was stationed in Germany for several years, but I went to war for half of them. So, and then I got back to the States, went to the Captain's Career Course, went back to Korea for 3 years, and then did a couple more deployments. And finally, I'm out here in Virginia, Fort Gregg Adams, where I retired, and I'm still working for the Army as a GS civilian now, because I love it. You know, I really enjoy what I do, and by working hard, I can make the Army a little bit better for the troops that are coming in. You know, that's my goal, is always reviews. They're all going to be entering this, where they could join the Army. If they do, I want it to be better than when I was in. So,
can you say that one point, that last thing one more time? You cut out a little bit.
Oh, I'm sorry. I work for the Army, and I'm just trying to leave it better than when I found it, when I was in it. So, you know, I just work as a GS civilian. Yeah, I work with good people.
Good. Oh, that's awesome.
And I know to be a bad rap, but I'm surrounded with people working and for everybody, you know, for the soldier. So,
we're losing you a little bit again, but we got the sentiment. It might be my internet. It could be your internet. I'm not sure.
It might be mine. It's hard to get a good signal in here. Yeah, you froze up on my end. I don't know if you can.
Yeah, you're frozen, but I can hear you. You're a little robot-y, but you look like you're back.
It looks like I'm back. Yeah.
Yay! When in doubt, turn it off and back on again.
Yeah, well, it did it for me, so.
Awesome.
Is there another question?
Yes, from Anonymous. Who is your favorite shrapnel contributor, and why is it Lorcan Nagel?
My favorite shrapnel contributor is Lorcan Nagel. No, there has been a lot of great shrapnel stuff, just absolutely. And for anybody who just wants some bite-sized pieces of BattleTech fiction, grab a shrapnel. And you don't have to, you can grab any of them because they're all little pieces of short fiction and snippets of world lore and stuff like that. Most of them have a mech or two in there. Just you can't go wrong with any shrapnel you pick up.
Awesome. Mechanical Frog asks, what item are you looking forward to from your Kickstarter order, Jason?
Ooh, and Frog, good to hear from you. I love your work. For people who don't watch Frog's videos, go watch them. Well, I mean, not this very second, but later after you're done watching me. I am looking forward to most of the Mercenaries box set itself because I want to see Battlefield support points grow in popularity. I love using them. I'm fascinated by these new way of playing vehicles. I mean, I'm an old guy, so I like old style classic vehicle rules, but I'm fascinated by this quick play version of the tanks where you can just sit there and just use a little car to play them. So absolutely the box set, but support points and the new cards for the support vehicles in particular. I'm hoping they catch on with the community. I think they're great.
That's awesome. Arrow Venhatalo asks, I'm currently writing a shrapnel submission. Got any tips?
Absolutely. Thank you for asking. Follow the rules. Number one, every shrapnel issue has got a list of rules, things that Phil, the editor, is looking for. That's the first test. If you can't obey the rules, why should the editor pay you money? Working is professional. Writing is professional. This is essentially kind of a part-time job. So rule one is follow the rules. Rule two, play to your strengths. Like I said earlier, when you sit there and you find something of lore, find it small, find a corner of the universe and make it the characters matter. You got 5,000 words to work with. Focus on a character, maybe a second character. Why does this battle matter to them? And again, don't make that a name character. Don't try to change the lore. For God's sakes, don't try to bring the Wolverines back. Just find a nobody and find out what's important to them. And write it honestly, write it to the best of your ability. Give it to a friend who that can look it over because you're going to screw up. Have them find all your mistakes, rewrite it, and then send it in. And then, as Kevin Kalani, my mentor, another BattleTech writer, said, and he stole it from another writer. We all steal from each other. Right? Write, submit, repeat. Once you finish writing that first story, keep writing. Even if you just put them in your pocket, you save them, you just keep working at it. Keep honing your craft, read a little bit of homework, and then just keep going.
Awesome.
But yeah, rule one is follow the rules.
That's awesome. Okay. New message from, let's see.
Right from John. You're fired.
I'm just checking with if Tyler has any other answers. He said, I forget if there are any other questions, but tell Jason he's a bad boy for not answering one of his add-on questions.
I wonder which one it was.
T. Buckner at CatalystGameLabs.com.
Yeah, no kidding. That's probably what's holding up my order. Curse me.
Awesome.
Ask me.
All right, let's see. We have time for a few more still.
Yeah. I mean, they're going to all be for you, but I'm hoping for one from here too.
Yeah, I've got from Mike Malley. I think we answered this one already. Could Rem look into when the second Star League and Mac Lances will be released? Yeah. Mac we got. That is, I think I said October.
The Daiichi is beautiful. Absolutely stunning. Yeah, Victor Steiner Davians. I mean, sorry to kind of rub it, but yeah, I grabbed it at Gen Con and it's gorgeous. Yeah. Okay, it's not that pretty. That one is nice.
But the Star League one isn't on the list, so I'm gonna have to check on that. But I think it should be soon because if we released it at Gen Con, usually it's up pretty fast after. Let's see. There was one question I saw. Where was it? About any news on the MUL. I don't. However, let me go. I was referencing this and then clicked away. On September 10th, so that's in 3 weeks, I think. 1, 2, 3. September 10th, my Tuesday Newsday guest is going to be Josh Perrion, and we will be talking about the MUL. So tune in.
He is one of the hardest working Bubbas at
It's
Catalyst.
incredible.
I've met him, shook his hand, and he's a great guy. And yeah, he works his butt off and puts his heart in for the team and for the fans. So I'll probably be definitely dialing in if I'm not at work.
Awesome. Let's see. I'm trying to find the ones that I might know. Dirk asks, when will the 2 legendary neoprene mats and the BFM City Luna be available? In the CGL web store and then the Second Star League. Mats,
Those legendary mats are gorgeous. I wanted them. I just kind of had to kind of watch the cash by the end of Gen Con.
Yeah.
But they're so pretty. I understand the question.
I'm scrolling through to see if there's anything on any maps or the BattleTech map pack city is December. Force pack. Field Commander's case. Is that the camo
That's
case?
probably the case. Yeah. That's the demo. Yeah, the big hard shell case.
Battle Mat City HPG Heliport is January. Battle Mat Savannah Large Lakes is January. Oh, Karita. I do see Karita on here, but it's not scheduled for release until February, which seems weird to me, but I'll
Well, they probably want to give it, well, like you said, they probably want to give it a little bit of room to breathe, not release all the books at the same time.
Yeah, I get that. We'll see. Battlemat Savannah River Delta and City HPG Engineering is February. Field Tech Alpha Strike Lunar City is April. Field Tech Alpha Strike Grasslands Desert is April. Battle Mat Field Tech Grasslands Desert and Lunar City is May. BFM City Lunar is June. Battlemat Legendary Battles Thunder Rift and Misery is July, and Battlemat Legendary Battles Twycross is July. So we've got to wait. We got to wait for that. But it's on the list. Let's see. Is there an ETA on the new Universe book and Force manuals to reach retail? Again, I think we did cover that. Universe is September. And Davian is September. Karita is looking like February at this point. And Star League, I don't know, but soon is my assumption. My guess would be September on Star League, Second Star League.
The force building rules of those new manuals are very cool. Just they make it so a player can sit there, just flip over to the page, figure out what kind of lance they want, and then sit there and using the mechs they have in front of them, just quickly build a lance, put it on the table. It's really the team knocked it out of the park, in my opinion.
That's awesome. You know what? I'll bring this one up. Edwin Lucas asks, how do you feel about the Aces version that's in the works? I got to play it at Origins, and it's cool. Like, it's neat. I'm excited for it. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. I like the co-op goals that it has, and I like the AI versus. Like, it obviously having like everything printed out in front of you. Like, there's certain cards where it's like, if this situation happens, where if you're more than this many inches and or for the bad guy, if you're more than this, if the unit is more than this many inches from an enemy, and 2 objectives are revealed, and then do this, and then like there's different things, so it'll react in different ways based on the in-game situation, which I think is really cool. So there's times when it's like being a little bit more defensive and like, I'm not going to fight. And there's times when it's like, oh, I'm going to go in hard. So I think it's really neat. I'm really excited for you guys to see more of that. And it's 5:00. So that's all the time that we have for today. But thank you so much, Jason, for joining me. And thank you, chat, for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. It's always good to see you and spend time with you, Jason. And for you guys, we'll have more next week. I'll keep pushing on Mercenaries info for you guys. as we do every week, and we'll get you what we can. So thank you guys for your patience. Thanks for being here. See you in 3 weeks for Josh Berrien and news on the MUL. And I think that's all. So thank you guys.